You're listening to the Bon Ray Show. It's 8 in the evening. Tune in every night at 8 to listen to the Bon Ray Show on Irish News Radio or ITV.ie.
Good morning, you're listening to the Bon Ray Show, or good afternoon, good evening on ITV.ie and Irish News Radio. Today we're going to have our weekly chat with Eileen, who worked with the EU and with banks in Europe. So she's very well informed about the subject we're talking about on Saturday, the criminal Irish government and how it got to be such a criminal and how we're run by a bunch of criminals that are trying to destroy the country. Good morning, Eileen. How are you this morning?
Hi. Yeah, they are definitely trying to destroy the country. There's no doubt about it. Last night I saw, it was on late, Gemma O'Doherty, she put on YouTube. She was saying, Gemma O'Doherty last night on YouTube, that if the Irish people don't wake up, we're going to be a third world country in a very short space of time.
Absolutely.
Because,
did you see the UN Pact?
Yeah, this is what she was talking about. This will end it. So I'm not sure people are awake, but it's extremely serious. And our old enemies have not gone away. No. They never disappeared. We're just under the illusion that we're free and we're a republic. But actually this time, instead of a famine, they're going to use immigration to overthrow the Irish people.
Yeah. And
I'm not sure if people were, because nothing is on the news, nothing about the new asylum centre.
Yeah, no, it's madness.
The anger in the room. Not a word about it on the news. Not a word.
About the Wickler, was it?
Yeah, there was a meeting in the town hall, and the anger in the room was unbelievable. And there had been 35 migrants moved in. I call them migrants. They are migrants. The majority from Pakistan. Yeah, and Congo. Well, they fly in, and at Dublin Airport, then they are directed to the asylum centre in town, and then they were packed off to Wicklow. And the manager has said that he spent, hundreds of thousands updating the hotel. The hotel's lovely.
Yeah.
And it's their only hotel, so for everything, Christmas, drinks, weddings, whatever. And 35 migrants were snuck in, really. Snuck in without anyone knowing. They were already in 13 rooms were occupied. So, they keep trying to pass this off as, we have to help everyone in the world and that. But this is it's an ethnic cleansing program they have going on.
Absolutely, because none of them
are sneaking them in every, like 4 in 1 week, and only 2 were mentioned on RTE propaganda channel.
Yeah.
And not a word about this migration pact. And if they sign this in December, it's opening the door literally to, it becomes a right migration. Literally the UN is going to make it a right migration, so you can go anywhere you like. Of course, they know very well that everyone will head to the West, the white Christian West. It's really about eliminating white Christians, Christian Europe.
Yeah.
And turning it into a federation, a low-wage, mixed-race federation. That's the end goal. And they have the power to do it at this stage. They own the governments, they own the banks, they own the media, and they have, Soros, billions of euros
people like Bono.
I think there's 189.
They also have people like Bono and all that sort of people as well, screaming up, this is great, for the EU.
They don't. I think they're kind of have no choice. Yeah, they've signed up.
It's absolutely crazy. What do you see? Where do you see is our best way out of this, or what's the way? Because I don't think the Irish can wake up, because they're very into their own world. They've got their children, they're doing la la la, and they believe everything that they're told. They believe they go into school, their children are being brainwashed. Hello, you're listening to the Bon Ray Show on ITV.ie and Irish News Radio. We're listening to the Bon and Eileen chat show about the criminal government. So just to finish off, it's been fabulous talking to you, and we will have another meeting next week, another chat or an interview or a coffee chat. So just to finish off, where do you think we're going, and what's the best thing, or How do you think? What should we do? Where's the next step to go?
I think we are going towards a total nightmare unless people wake up and stop voting for the main parties, and they try to inform others, and they get off the mainstream media and start looking into the social media, YouTube, Gran Torino, or Laird, Gemma O'Doherty, and they try to, wake up and get back their critical thinking, especially, and think about the elections coming up in May. She probably is right. It's probably our last chance.
What this election in May? What's this? Is like for?
I think it's local councils and European elections as well. So the people that we have over there, a lot of them have been proved to be serfs, by paid off pawns, because the Open Society document is on the internet, but people don't really look these things up,
Absolutely. But I actually think even a local election, there have been websites and stuff on newspapers to advise non-nationals how to, they're saying that they can vote and they can get into the voting thing, so that they want a non-national, and they're advising them how to do it and how to get about it. So, that they're going to push for non-national, and I'd say they're mostly Muslims. They're making the Gardaí, that there was more Arab countries, I didn't say Muslim, more Arab countries applying for the Gardaí than any other race. So that's pretty...
Yeah, they're trying to, there's a Pakistani, I think it's Fianna Fáil, there's a Polish and another party, and they're saying there's too many Irish faces in the Irish Parliament, whatever that means.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that mean? There isn't enough Asian faces, or there's enough African faces, or enough, what does that mean? There's too many. I mean, how many white Christian Irish faces are in the Pakistani Parliament is what I'd like to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Or how many Irish, are in the Polish Parliament. They wouldn't be allowed.
Oh no, the Polish have a brand.
But it's a free-for-all here, It's completely free-for-all. They're having conference after conference in town,
But they don't want the Polish in.
Sorrows.
They want the Muslims and the Africans in. They want to show this so-called diversity. It's actually anti-Irish.
No, they want to undermine the nation state.
Yeah, exactly.
Ireland is far too white, and it's far too Christian.
Yeah.
And that is really the main issue that people need to get over. The racist. If people shout racist at you, shout back to them. Prove it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And even
don't be intimidated by this word.
Yeah, and you're dead right. That's the thing and that's what's broken England is that, and that's why a lot of the gang rapes on those girls since the 80s weren't reported, because they were afraid of that word. And instead of helping the girls, they just started hiring police that were Muslims. Exactly what's happening here. Instead of actually going to say, look, you have to try and say that this is to do with Islam, this is to do with their culture that they're bringing them in, and this is their view of women. And
it's also because the native British are white Christians. And this has been going on since the 50s, or maybe the 60s. But they didn't have the internet then, you see. Yeah. So they were able to sneak them in decade after decade, and the British people were not aware of what was being done to their country. Yeah. And they woke up one day, looked around, and they realized being bullied in their own town. I mean, there's certain areas in Bradford, I think there's 99 mosques.
Wow.
I think Luton has been taken over, and they want Sharia, and I mean, sometimes you just want to cry. They want Sharia in certain areas, and they're bullying the white native Christian English to leave, like setting fire to their business, all of this bullying to get them out of the area.
Scary. I was talking to somebody from Britain First, and he was saying there's one area, Sackville, like in the name from Jimmy Sackville, and there's no whites. There was one white lady, and she's 95, and she refuses to leave. But the total intimidation on her all the time. And they're like literally spit on her in the streets and all sorts of stuff. So
because the elite, 1% Zionist elite who control the UK, the ones who run the banks, the ones who own, I should say, the banks, and who own the City of London and the Bank of England, are the ones who really dictate to the pawn government about immigration policy. And that's why you see that their country has been literally colonized in some areas, you know?
Absolutely, without a bullet. It's hard to imagine that it happened there. They fought 2 world wars and their own government destroyed them. We fought 800 years for independence and we handed it over. It's heartbreaking.
Because they don't know that their government is only a pawn government, you know? And the media is telling them this and that, and, you know, it's all drama. It's all drama. When you pull back the curtain, the people really pulling the strings are the ones who control the money and the banks.
Yeah.
And they really have an anti-Christian, anti-white mentality. It comes from their core beliefs. It always comes from the core beliefs. You know, cultural beliefs and religious beliefs. Why are they
so anti-white? Is it that they feel that the whites are the only ones who would be able to stand up to them? Because
they see them as the royal seed of Jesus Christ, the descendants of. It all goes back to Jerusalem.
But Jesus Christ was brown.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it's not about his colour, but it's about the belief, you know, the seed, what he has left behind. Do you know what I mean? We're the royal seed of Jesus Christ, the scattering of the seed, the Christians, the ones who became Christian.
It's scary, absolutely.
To breed them out.
Yeah, well, you can see that in.
And they use Islam to do it because they know they multiply more and they.
Barbaric, and it's easier to control out of fear.
And
it's very scary stuff.
We are only 100 years behind. It's only thanks to Michael Collins and his volunteers, because we would be in the exact same status as the UK today if he hadn't delayed it, if they all hadn't pulled together and delayed it by 100 years. Now they're catching up.
And quickly as well. I think we're on speed to the UK. Like some areas of Ireland are non-Irish now.
Because they're shredding the constitution. Yeah, there's 49 migrant hotels in 18 counties. 39. Did I say 30? Yeah, 39.
Jesus Christ.
And 4 of those were opened in 1 week last week. And 2 were advertised. 2 were on the news. The other 2 they kept quiet about. They didn't talk about the one in Kenmare, and the one in Moyville and Donegal. They only put on the news Ruski in Leitrim and Wicklow, I think, because...
God, and destroy Wicklow, and Wicklow's such a beautiful town. So heartbreaking. The whole thing is heartbreaking.
Because people are being, I'm glad to see a little rise in anger, definitely.
Yeah. That
people have the courage now to overcome this mental block.
They need to take to the guns. That is the only thing. I'm not advocating war, but I don't see another way out.
Well, they've taken the guns from us, haven't they? And they're trying to do that in America too.
Yeah.
They're trying everything to get the guns off the Americans. And they might, well, we'll see, but Texas would be, they'll keep their guns, but they're working at it,
Well, that's why they keep having these fake gun shootings to kind of go,
false flags.
Yeah.
Unbelievable that you can have a thing called crisis actor, which I never even heard about until about a year ago, that you could hire people and their photo keeps popping up in these, and they were supposed to be dead, but they pop up then 2 months later in another false flag.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
I think then you're really living in the twilight zone.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them on Syria and different places like that where the same actor pops up. She could be somewhere in America, and then you have the same actor crying in Syria.
Yeah, I believe.
It's unreal. But there was even videos of the white helmets in Syria faking. It's like a film scene, and they're getting all the blood and putting them all on. It's like special effects, and they actually start filming it.
And that's like when you get to that point, you think, well, my God. I mean, you thought the media was control, but they're actually
making up stories.
They're literally making things up.
Yeah.
They're literally making things up.
Oh, they are, yeah. Sure, a lot of the stuff filmed from Syria is all makeup crew, everything, from start to being in the bed. Sure, even people who were in there saying that they were going by and there wasn't a bomb there, and, you know, there was a whole film crew going through. The other thing was in London, they got caught, I think it was in Sky. They had this fake Muslim protest, fake Muslim, you know, sympathy towards the bombings. I can't remember, it was the London bombings, one of the bombings. And there was somebody else, he was laughing in it while it was made and going, oh my God, this is so fake, who will believe it? And got caught on video because there was only about 3. It was supposed to be hundreds of Muslims, and then they could show that it was 3. And he was just laughing. They were all paid actors to come in. They weren't even Muslim. Paid kind of go, oh no, we stand united.
I mean, that kind of thing. Like, I mean, I couldn't believe it when I first heard about it a year ago. I said, this can't be for real, you know. And the Manchester thing as well. But it actually turned out, after doing a good bit of research, that it is.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it because I've seen it on white helmets that do it an awful lot in Syria. So, and then I saw it on that bombing after the bombing, only because your man got caught cracking up laughing, he couldn't hold it in, but it went on air. He was like, this is so fake, it's ridiculous. I don't think he thought his voice was going to come through, and it came through, and it went out on media, and they shut it down fairly straight, but there was still a YouTube video going around of it.
And if you think that's bad, I mean, people, I mean, it's hard for people to see, but this global warming and everything, you know, when you look into that as well.
Oh, completely. That's such bullshit. That's just take money from us. So the world has been turning and changing forever. Like,
well, you know, they have the technology now to actually create climate warfare.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if people look into HAARP, HAARP, and they look into Nikola Tesla, who invented free energy, and it was all compressed by the petroleum, you know, companies. But he invented weather modification. It was supposed to help humanity, and they have. Anyway, he died, didn't paint into anything, and they have managed to get their hands on it and use it again. So I know it's too unbelievable that people can't really believe it's real. But you know, when you look into it and follow the money, if you look up things, HAARP in action, you can see them making a massive cloud and a rain cloud.
Oh yeah, and poisoning us all the time. We have 10% more cancer than any where else, and we are being poisoned. The airplanes are poisoning us. Literally poisonous. They're going through and dropping poison on us.
And years ago, Margaret Thatcher, I found a quote. She said, "Oh, you know, climate, global warming is a marvelous excuse for global socialism."
Yeah, very clever. She was a very clever woman.
You know, because they're going to pack and stack them.
Yeah.
You know, mass surveillance, climate, carbon this and carbon that. You won't be able to drive down the road. It will track every meter, but all of that money is going to be funneled back to them.
I was watching a video YouTube of her when she was giving out to, oh God, not Tony Blair, the one before him, where he signed into the EU, and she said, "I would have never signed my country away." She calls him a fool.
Yeah, but if you don't play ball with these people, they will have you removed.
Oh yeah.
So she was fine up to a certain point, and then when she wouldn't go their way, they got rid of her. You know?
Yeah.
And they own the media, so they can turn people's opinion and have an absolute blitz, a PR blitz, just like they do with the Catholic Church every time. I know there's a lot that went on and people are angry with the Catholic Church, but they must question why they never show any other pedophilia, and there's so many, even in society and among the elite, it's never on the news.
Yeah. I think actually Leo and Simone are a little bit odd as well. I think they're a little bit funny. Because Leo was, he got his training in the EU, but I actually think he is pimped and primed, but I actually think he's a little bit of a fiddler. I don't know why. I get that impression. It's just a feeling I actually would say, and I think paedophilia is another step on the agenda coming into Ireland.
Well, definitely that's the aim of the higher ups, to lower the age.
Yeah. Lower
and lower, yeah.
And I think that's one of the other reasons why they use Islam is because there's so much paedophilia and there's nothing, they see that, they promote it because Muhammad himself married a 6-year-old. So that is why they love Islam, is because it's a great place to hide out and scream at everybody racist. So I do see that paedophilia is on its way. They'll remove all the stuff from religion, from...
but I mean, even if you're teaching children who don't know the basics between boys and girls, they don't know much about sex as such in sex education, and they wanted to bring in a bill where they would teach them about gay sex. This is about, grooming them into trying all different things and making it acceptable, and if they try gay sex, if they try it with a boy, maybe it doesn't work out, and maybe they'll try it with an adult, and, where does it stop?
Yeah, you see that.
Definitely you shouldn't be teaching children. I don't think they know enough about it. It shouldn't be. It's exploitation and manipulation of minors.
Yeah.
Teaching a 10-year-old or 12-year-old about gay sex. So they barely know anything about heterosexual sex.
Yeah. Totally, it is about...
Let them live like their childhood. They're trying to bring this in.
Yeah, and that's exactly...
And this is about as well in removing... It's a war, you see, on a higher level, on the highest level. It's really a war against God himself. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a spiritual war that's going on. These people want to prove that God's experiment was a failure, especially George Soros. He literally, that's his greatest aim. That God's earth experiment was a failure. They want to invert and turn everything on its upside down.
Sure. Absolutely.
At the highest level, we're talking about this. When people are doing their shopping somewhere, then you wouldn't know this is really going. It's filtered down society. But at the highest level, at an elite level, this is what they're after. Like they want to create a world of their own. Make you fake Messiah. And if in the future the religions merge or the Pope comes, there's some event, just say there's an event, and people get fooled into this new religion where they would merge Islam and call it Christ-Islam or something.
Oh my gosh.
For the sake of peace. Now this is to carry on. They're going to sell this as we have to all join together, you see.
Yeah.
Humanity is one. We don't need any borders anymore. We don't need culture. We don't need language. Our language would be, just imagine Italy, all of that would be gone. The Italian language, everything, if everything was mixed up.
So what will be? English, do you think? Or German?
Huh?
What language do you think they're going to use? English?
No, but I'm saying if there's no borders anymore in the future, I'd say the UN does kind of break up into little bits and they allow it to happen deliberately.
Yeah.
And we think, and then they put in all their media, the globalists have lost the war and everyone's celebrating.
Yeah.
Catalan is free and all that. And then later on down the line, not so far down the line, the UN comes into the scene.
Yeah.
With their own army and everything, and their climate dictatorship, and their, and then if they do make everything unified with a central government, because they want a central government, a world government, where corporations rule, where they rule governments, the governments have no sovereignty anymore. And then say in the future, because the Vatican, all roads lead to Rome. You know, all the money, the Vatican Bank, which is it's a sovereign state, it's not part of Italy, it pays no tax, it's above the law. Say all roads lead to Rome, and then they eventually, the Pope announces, because he's a Jesuit Pope, and they announces a new world religion. That's when people need to wake. I mean, they need.
I think you were nearly there. Actually, to be honest with you,
I think they are nearly there because Soros is meeting the Pope.
Yeah. And even when he goes on about migrants and open borders, you have to take them in. Since when has any Christian hierarchy said, you know, Christian countries have to take in other religions? They know that's going to destroy our religion.
They want to merge it all into one, and it will be a disguised religion. It will be Luciferian.
Yeah.
You know, so it is written to flee the rise of false doctrines or false churches. There's something about that in the Bible. Yeah. When you see the rise of false, to run. Don't obey this new religion. You know, it won't be a religion at all. In fact, they're saying we all have to. They're saying we all have the same God.
Yeah.
The Muslims have the same God, and we don't.
No, we don't. Allah's completely different.
So this is where it's heading. This is where it's heading, and people need to wake up that it's going to be a one world everything, mixed up, inversed, turned on its head.
Okay, listen, Eileen, it was fantastic talking to you again. So we'll do our coffee morning again next week, and we'll go on and see what's been happening in the papers for next week. But thank you so much for your time. It's been a fantastic interview. You are so knowledgeable, and it's great to actually have this chat. And it's great to actually be able to talk to people who get it, because many people.
Took a few years. Yeah, took a few years to wake up, but the pennies have dropped.
Yeah. And there's still, unfortunately, there isn't that many of us. So it's great that we can still kind of, you know, have this, because eventually I don't know when the government starts cutting all of this out and we'll all be arrested. So I think let's, hope that some miracle happens and pray. But thank you so much for your information, and I'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much.
Okay.
It's been a
bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
You are listening to Irish News Radio at irishnews.net. Email news@irishnews.net.